Hello and welcome to Folk to Film podcast, where we discuss myths, urban legends, and folk tales that inspired films. Is any of it based in truth? Are they mundane answers to the things that go bump in the night? Let's find out together. This is Folk to Film. Today we're going to be talking about the Conjuring film and the Warrens. Content warnings include suicide, murder of adults, children, and animals. Listener discretion is advised. I first off do want to focus on the film itself. This was one of my favourite films when I was a young teenager and learning all about horror. First of all, we meet Annabelle, which at the time everybody thought that the film was going to be about her, and we will get to her story at a later episode. But we learn about the nurses that have Annabelle and how their friend was attacked by the doll, etc., etc. Lorraine Warren is a gifted clairvoyant, and Ed Warren is the only non-ordained demonologist recognised by the Catholic Church. The film is apparently based off a true story that the Warrens have never spoken about before. However, upon further research, I found that the Perron family have actually published books about what happened within the Conjuring household. The Perron family moves into a new home, and their dog refuses to go inside, and we're led to believe this is because the dog can see the spirits. One of the younger children finds a haunted toy that allows it to speak to one of the spirits that inhabits the house, and the spirits will play games with the children, like hide and go clap. All of a sudden they find the hidden basement, which is locked away, and the children are told never to go down there, at least not until the parents have properly scoped it out. This is where the dog dies, and if the dog is killed by evil spirits that are just outside the house but still on the land, things really start to go south from there. A demon pulls a girl out of her bed, and then we cut to Ed and Lorraine Warren. The film makes Ed and Lorraine look like people who search for mundane reasons rather than heading straight for the paranormal. So they go to a house and they find mundane reasons as to why floorboards are creaking in the middle of the night. Back in the Perron home, family portraits shatter to the ground in the stairwell. There are 3 knocks of mockery to the Holy Trinity, and when Lorraine finally gets to the house, she feels really weak due to the supernatural experiences within the farmhouse. Going around the house for a little bit, Lorraine finds that there is an evil spirit called Bathsheba, who was an evil Satanist whose spirit kills whoever lives on her land. The evil spirit attaches to the family and also the Warrens. We find out that Bathsheba made everybody kill the children in their care, and then themselves, a kind of act of revenge, as she herself wants as many lives as possible to go towards Satan. Children get thrown across the room during some investigations that the Warrens are doing. Throughout the film, the wife of the Perron family is possessed by Bathsheba, tries to kill her and children, and then, thanks to the Warrens, is released from the power of Bathsheba, and they move out the house and live happily ever after. The story that the Perrons have is quite different from what we've seen on the big screen. The realtor, when they were selling the house, said, "For the sake of your children, leave the lights on at night." And apparently the Perrons also had the same conversation with one of their neighbours. It was the first house built of the county, and the father, Roger, didn't believe in the paranormal in the beginning and said that the paranormal activity was probably just stress. The mother of the house was unable to get out of bed for a while because of how ill the house had apparently made her. Lorraine issued warnings and wanted to find the source of the hauntings, and eventually came across Bathsheba. Carolyn Perron mentioned that at one point she could smell smoke in the bedroom, and then she noticed Bathsheba, who said, "Next time we meet, ye too be dead." The spirits told them of several dead soldiers built in the walls of the farmhouse. Andrea Perron is said to be a believer, and she said that there was a bad male spirit in the home with the 5 little girls. Lorraine claimed that Bathsheba was demonic and killed her own children in the name of the devil. Bathsheba apparently loved Roger and hated Carolyn, who was the mother of the children. She would move the children's toys or make them disappear completely. Lorraine confirmed that Bathsheba was a witch who would apparently physically harm children in life and continue to harm Carolyn in death. The Warrens said that the family was not safe and wouldn't be until the spirits were banished from the house. However, an exorcism was not possible as the parents were not religious. The Warrens themselves were only allowed to work with religious people. They did, however, conduct a seance in the basement of the house that completely backfired. Instead of cleansing the house, Carolyn was possessed by Bathsheba. The Warrens could not get rid of the spirits, and they were forced to retreat. Lorraine was quoted in saying, "The things that went on there were just so incredibly frightening, it still affects me to this day." The hauntings went on within the Perrin household, and they couldn't leave for another 10 years, saying that every time they were about to get the money to leave, something went wrong in the house that had to be fixed. And now for the mundane explanations and proof. The new owner of the house, Nora Sutcliffe, dug up old records and found that the suicides and murders that the Warrens linked to the farmhouse didn't happen there, but did happen around other locations in town. There were no historical records of Bathsheba being in court for murder of children or being tried for being a witch. The paranormal investigation team TAPS went in and found a door opening on its own along with orbs floating around the place. This really surprised Nora, who hasn't had any paranormal experiences within the house herself. It is theorized that Lorraine took a walk around town, found Bathsheba's grave, and thought that the name sounded demonic enough to fit the idea of a Satanist who killed babies, and would use this name in the investigation. Bathsheba's grave, unfortunately, has been defiled many times since the Warren story has come out, and this is extremely sad as there is no proof that she'd done anything wrong in life, let alone death. The Perrin family still believe in what the Warrens have said and have backed the original film. There have been claims that Ed has asked for help to make some fake proof from people within their lives, and it is very much possible that this happened within the Perrin household as well. There is likely to have been deaths on this land, being how old the house is. However, there is nothing to show that there was such horrific murders and suicides that the Warrens had claimed. The reason behind the Perrins staying is because they had nowhere to go and all of their savings had gone into the house. It's hard not to feel really bad for Bathsheba and other dead people that may have had their graves defiled because of the Warrens, making stories up just so that they could seem real and gain more fame through their stories. I don't know whether I believe that Lorraine Warren was faking her entire spiritual journey or anything, but she definitely did not use it for good. The original Warren stories, like the first stories that they spoke about, were where they approached people themselves who had hauntings in houses, and they would help them with their investigations. And then as they've gained more fame, there are just so many fake stories that have come across. I feel really bad for Bathsheba, and I hope that people can actually leave her grave alone and allow her to rest in peace, as proof says that she's done nothing wrong, and she is not the person that the Warrens made her out to be. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next episode.